Welcome to the YouTube channel. Is this justice? What this is a platform basically to bring awareness to the injustice being done um, at the hands of basically, I would say, uh, the court system and, the penal system and everything else. This is to bring awareness to basically, uh, hopefully, change things to where in the future the people that find themselves in these situations, when they facing time and they fighting these cases or whatever it may be, they can get the best fair shake possible in every aspect, far as their time, far as them being, in safer conditions, in these jails, specifically in LA County Jail, because it get wicked. Um, and at the end of the day, like I said, this is just my way of trying to bring awareness, and somehow, hopefully, it reaches the right people, and I could do my part basically on making a change, just, I can't say in the world, but at least in the place that I'm from. You know, I don't want nobody or the dudes and the females or whoever it may be coming after me, into the system to go through what I went through, or to be facing what I face. And what I mean by that is I don't want somebody to go to jail and they got a public defender, and because they don't have proper counsel, they end up washed up, or they end up with a gang of time like I did, for something that really they was only supposed to do a few years or whatever it may be. Um, this is to basically bring awareness to the situations that's going on in these jails, in these pods, on these tiers, in these dorms, and wherever where people is, falling victim to some crazy stuff, man. And my thing is this, it can be easily rectified. It's an easy fix for this. It's an easy fix for this, and we have the means to make those corrections, or they have the means to make those corrections, but they don't. And I feel as though however it needs to happen where somebody step in and make these corrections, because it shouldn't be like that. Take it how you want it. I know a lot of people, they gonna have their personal opinions on, me and this whole situation, and me speaking out on this, but I really don't care. I really don't, because at the end of the day, what I'm not doing is I'm not putting nobody in no compromising situations. I'm not putting nobody on blast or telling no stories about no violence that happened or none of that. Basically, like I've said, all I'm doing is bringing awareness. So like I said, the changes can be made, somewhere down the line. Hopefully, this reaches the right people, and it's a it's corrections made. You know, and this, like I said, go for us being sentenced. This goes for us being housed in these certain facilities. It goes for us even in this penal system, and how things are in this penal system. I'm just covering everything, and basically everything that I'm familiar with. Now, a little on down the line, if I could bring people in and speak on things that I don't know, haven't experienced, then yeah, I'm gonna do that too. Cause like I said, I'm just trying to bring awareness and make a change. I want to use this platform to make a change. And hopefully, what I do is something that can last forever. And even if it's not me that takes credit for it, or has to that's being celebrated for it, at least I can be the thing that started everything. At least I can be that one voice that reached the rest of the voices that was heard, to make these corrections. Like I say, at the end of the day, it's an easy fix. And what I mean by it's an easy fix is, it's the solution is there, and all it take is for them to put it in place, you know. Like I say, it's gonna be a lot of people that don't like it. It's gonna be a lot of people that have something bad to say and be like, oh, he this and that, woo. Hey, do what you do best. Hate. Do what you do best. Talk. Do what you do best. Uh, you know, be negative. But what I'm trying to do is do something positive. What I'm trying to do is, like I say, reach the masses, and hopefully it get to the right people, and these changes are made, and the people that come through this system after me, hopefully it's a lot better for them. Because like I say, just for example, me personally, my time that I originally was supposed to get, my base term, the time that I really got for the actual crime that I did, which was attempted murder, I got 5 years for that. I got 5 years for that. And mind you, I got attempted murder and wasn't nobody hit. It was a shooting where nobody hit, where nobody nothing. A car got shot up. I just did. Just being honest. I'm being very transparent. I'm not gonna hold no punches. I'm not gonna sugarcoat nothing. My first term, I had just got out 3 months prior, and true enough, I had just did the same thing, but for a reason though. I'm not just around here, cowboy, wild wild west. At the end of the day, I got into an altercation with somebody in a traffic accident. They jumped me. 4 5 dudes jumped me. And let's just say, towards the when everything was all said and done, shots was fired. You know, and with this situation, it was just a situation to where, you know, uh, I really don't want to get into that because I'm still going through court stuff right now and trying to make it up from up under this stuff. But let's just say, you know, somebody, uh, came with that certain type of energy, and things happen that happen, and then next thing people playing victim, like, oh yeah, I didn't know what was going on, and yeah, but it is what it is. Things, you know, worked out how they worked out. But going back to the point, at the end of the day, I was sentenced for the actual crime 5 years, but then I got 19 years in enhancements, 5 years doubled up to 10, then they hit me with the gun enhancement, which I believe is 10. Then they hit me with the gang enhancement, which I believe was 4. It's either vice versa. The gang enhancement was 10 and the gun was 4, or whichever one. But long story short, I got 19 years in enhancements. I only got 5 years for the actual crime. I got 19 years in enhancements for things that I didn't do, for things that weren't a crime. You know, I got 19 years because they know how to use their paper and their pen or the laws in order to, add time onto my sentence. How do I get 5 more years because it's something that I already did my time for? But we gonna get into all that. Like I said, this is just the introduction into the page. Hopefully I draw everybody's interest. Hopefully I draw the right people's interest, and we gonna keep it going. We gonna get it going. You know, and like I say, this is only positivity. This is nothing negative. This is not the platform to glorify no crimes or no lifestyle to encourage the youth or nobody to do nothing. This is uh, a platform to make change. This is a platform to make change. This is a platform to bring awareness to what we are falling victim of every day. Every day is somebody in these courtrooms, that's getting washed up, because these public defenders and these district attorneys and these judges and these, people in these courtrooms is, basically um, using these laws to take our lives away. You know, it's people in here that didn't do nothing, what's it called, violent or nothing of the sort, and they got all day just because they wanted to fight for their life, and they took it to the box, so they maxed him out when they lost. You know, these is people that basically they got life and 100 years or 80 years or 60 years because these people gave them enhancements, and their crime is only a 7 year or a 10 year or a 3 year, sentence. You know, that's what this is about. This is about bringing awareness and and putting attention and spotlight on situations like that. And hopefully, if you're watching this and you've been through the same thing and you went through that, get at me in the comments. Leave your hookup somewhere I can contact you, and we'll figure it out. And I want to have people on here to basically tell a story, and let you know the world know basically, and the people that need to know basically what happened to them. What happened to them, and how did they fall victim to the system. What happened in their case. Not just me, but everybody. I want examples. I want people to see these real people that really went through this. And that's all I want. Like I said, is to create change with this platform. um, Anything else, like I say, I'm not here to glorify, nothing negative. I'm only here to bring awareness. So, like I say, like, comment, subscribe, and yeah, man, stay tuned in and tap in if you got your own story, and we're gonna get it going.